Hey guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best stocks to watch during this crash, which stocks to be the best bounce back plays, which stocks that I love long term, but I'm really looking to get a good price in, and which stocks to buy that bet on the stock market going down. So when the stock market goes down, we're still making money, and we need to capitalize on this crash with all the bounce backs and the ones betting on the stock market going down. So stay tuned for the end of the video, and I'll show you guys my favorite bounce back stock, which I love long term as well. And it will be my closest watch during this crash, and I'll start a big position in it once I can. So let's get into the first stock. So the first stock / ETF I'm going to talk about is SPXS. So this is the leveraged ETF that I've been talking about, and this is my favorite one because it just pretty much goes against the S&P 500. So every percent that the S&P 500 goes down, this leveraged ETF goes up 3 times that. So if it went down 5% today, this would be up 15%. So this is my favorite hedge, purely betting on the stock market going down. This next ETF is leveraged, betting on the Russell 3000 going down. So this is 3,000 small cap companies, and this is pretty much betting that those will go down, and it multiplies that by 3, just like the other one. So this is higher upside but lower downside, because smaller cap companies like to pop, either go way up or way down. So this last ETF that I like betting for the stock market to go down is TZA. So this one tracks all the small cap companies, not just the Russell 3000, and it's just another high risk, high reward ETF betting on the stock market going down. So those are 3 leveraged ETFs that I like a lot, betting on the stock market going down. My favorite out of those is SPXS, because it carries less risk and it pretty much just tracks the bigger companies. But the other 2, they track the smaller companies, and the smaller companies like to be very volatile. So that's a better short-term trade. And if you think the stock market is going down long-term, I would go with SPXS. So let's get into some of the stocks that I'm watching very closely as they drop. The first stock that I'm watching super closely as it drops is Boeing Corporation, ticker symbol BA. So this stock has been wild lately, getting down to about 90 something at the peak of the crash, and slowly trending up since then. And then recently it's popped up to like 230 or so, and now it's back down in the 170 range. So that's pretty crazy. This is one of the most volatile stocks, but I really do like this one long term. And if it can drop below the 150 range, I would be super interested in starting a long term position in this. It plays a solid dividend. It's needed. There's no way it's going to go bankrupt. So it's a pretty safe long term company in my opinion. The next stock I'm going to be talking about is Carnival Corporation, ticker symbol CCL. So this is super interesting. It was one of the biggest drops, got down to $7 at the peak of the crash, and it's been slowly trending up since then, just like Boeing. And I don't think this is going to go out of business either, but this is one of the biggest stocks affected and biggest companies affected by the pandemic. People can get trapped on their ships if someone's sick. That happened a ton. That's the biggest reason that the stock got hit super hard. But I do see long-term upside in the stock, long-term value, especially if the dividend payment comes back in the future, which I do expect it to be back in 3 to 4 years or so. So I could see this make a full recovery to $50 or so per share in a couple years from now. It's not the highest upside, but it is great value and great dividend in the future. For now, I'm staying away, and I'll be a lot more interested if it gets down to the 14, 13 range. This next stock, ROKU, this one actually kind of benefits from the crash. It's a super up and down stock. This is just the day chart that I pulled up on here. But if you take a look at the yearly chart, it's a very volatile up and down stock. But I do love how this company benefits from the pandemic. People stay at home, watch more TV. And in my experience, ROKU is the best platform to use for streaming services. It's a ton easier than using the Amazon Fire Stick. I've heard from everybody that just the Roku remote is the best in the business, and I do like this company for the future. It doesn't have a great moat, but it's very solid. I do like this long term, not super long term, but I like a 2 to 3 year outlook on them. I would love to get a price under $100 on this, but I am super interested either way because the pandemic does not really hurt this if there is a potential second wave to come. So the next stock we're going to be talking about is Canopy Growth Corporation, ticker symbol CGC. So this stock is in the weed space. And weed actually performs very well when people are in lockdown. What else is there to do besides smoke for a lot of people? So Canopy has had some great sales. They disappointed last quarter's earnings, but I do think it's a good long-term potential stock. And I do like how I expect weed to be legalized in the United States. It's going to help all the weed stocks like crazy. Canopy is my favorite one of all the weed stocks just because it's the leader in the industry. And I believe that once it gets legalized, Canopy will easily double from this. And I would expect $50 plus once it gets legalized in the United States, which I would expect in the next 4 years easily to be legalized. This next stock, GNUS Brands, ticker symbol GNUS. So this is a super interesting one with crazy high upside. GNUS is coming out with their TV channel and TV service where you get to watch ads instead of paying for the service. So like how you pay for Netflix, it's a certain monthly fee. With GNUS Brands, they're doing a thing where you just watch ads and that pays for it. It's a free learning service for kids. So super interesting. They have a show with Stan Lee coming out, and that comes out on June 15th. So a thing to watch with this stock is the insiders are allowed to sell their shares on June 14th. So I do expect a decline on the 14th when a bunch of the insiders sell their shares, but there's a good chance that we see a run up until the 14th, in my opinion. And long term, this is very risky, but it has super high upside. So this next stock to keep an eye on is Esports Entertainment Group, ticker symbol GMBL. So this is a stock based on esports, which is just like the online gaming service. People get to watch their favorite people play video games, a lot of their favorite athletes, celebrities, stuff like that. And it has grown a ton recently, especially over the pandemic time, because everybody's stuck at home. They've got nothing else to do besides play video games competitively, and watch others play video games, including the people they admire, such as celebrities and sports players, like I said. I do think this has a very good opportunity at this time, especially if there's a second wave. But if not, I do see this as a shrinking business as actual sports comes back. So just want to keep a close watch on and see what happens. So the next stock to keep a close watch on is Nikola Corporation, ticker symbol NKLA. So this is a crazy stock as well, reaching up to 100. And I actually recommended this stock at $16, which is crazy. So this stock has been dropping big lately, and it's down to $60 per share. So this is just a close watch for me. It's very overvalued in my opinion. I would be interested if this stock was in the $40 range, but that would be the maximum interest for me. So it's just super interesting. People are calling this the next Tesla and all that. It's definitely not, but it is super interesting to watch, and it is one of those hype stocks that will always trade as a premium because investors are just super excited about the company, and they have a great CEO. If you're interested in the video, you should check it out. I'll put the link up above. This next stock is Penn National Gaming, ticker symbol PENN. So this is another super volatile stock. One of my biggest plays for this year. I recommend this stock as a buy at $4, and it's skyrocketed since then. I'm almost 10xing, which is insane. But I really do like this company for the future. And once they come out with the Barstool Sports betting app, I think that's going to make this stock go crazy. So I'm expecting that at the Q3 earnings call. So this is the stock that I'm watching. And playing at the Q3 earnings call. And I do expect some crazy gains after those earnings. This next stock that I'm watching super closely and slowly adding to my position is GAN Limited, ticker symbol GAN. So this is one of my favorite stocks right now still. The value is great, the growth potential is great, but there are a couple risks to be aware of in this stock. If their deal with FanDuel falls apart, then I believe this stock will get hit hard. Their FanDuel revenue is only like 10 to 15% of the revenue of the business, but a lot of people invest in GAN because it's kind of like a slight investment into FanDuel itself, indirect investment into FanDuel, because people really like FanDuel. So that would destroy GAN stock. I think it would be down 50% if that was to happen. So that's a risk. But I really do like this during the pandemic as well. It's an online betting service. It provides online betting software. So that's super important for a bunch of betting apps and all that. I think they'll have pretty solid earnings, a great earnings call. And I am trying to add as much as I can up until the earnings call. especially at these prices. I'm very, very bullish on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Those were just a bunch of stocks to keep an eye on, add to your watch lists. Super important stocks to just possibly make a bounce back play, possibly make a play during the pandemic, and possibly bet on the stock market going down and make a lot of money off of it. There's a couple more I want to add in there, such as Peloton. I am heavily invested in Peloton and also adding to my position because I do believe if the pandemic gets worse and the second wave is imminent, Peloton will even get more orders, and it's insane how many orders they're getting. They can't even keep up. It takes 7 to 11 weeks to deliver a bike, and that's maxing out every single day. They're making as much as they can, and they just sell. They're also working on making the Tread, which is a Peloton treadmill. So that is also a big play, and Peloton just expanding into other businesses, other workout gear, and it's just the top dog in the at-home fitness space. Another few stocks to keep an eye on is some that I bought today, which is a bunch of gun stocks. Vista Outdoors, Smith & Wesson, keep an eye on that one. I do think they're going to keep rising slowly but gradually and have amazing earnings just like Peloton. They're selling out of all the guns. So that's insane. So keep an eye on Peloton and the gun stocks. Those are what I'm super bullish on right now, as well as betting on the market going down. You got to make very smart moves, do a ton of research, especially when the market keeps going down like this. Futures do look up for tomorrow. They do look green, but anything can happen midday, anything can happen in the morning. It's just super volatile, and we can't judge anything yet. So trade smart. Check out all the links in the description. If you want to be a member of the private stock group, it's only $4.99 a month. Check out the links for 2 free stocks on Webull and a free stock on Robinhood as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get rich.